This is the angry Xbox kid. It's Humble and Fred Radio. We are live in the 5-Hour Energy Studios, and one of our good friends and sponsors, Chris Churchill, has brought in just something wonderful. It's
many wonderful things.
It's the vodka experience, along with some very nice people. The president of Multiculture Bevco Inc., a Canadian company that creates and owns Slava Ultra Premium Vodka, among other things. John Valinga's here. Hey, John.
Hey, Howard. How you doing?
Nice to meet you. And Chris Churchill.
The pleasure is always.
And I've got a little surprise for Chris, John, if you don't mind, because Chris sent me an email a week ago talking about you coming in.
Yeah.
And you, Chris, made a suggestion to me. I didn't tell Fred.
Oh, okay. I know what this is.
And so I had, Chris suggested that he have his own theme, because he likes Eileen's theme. Mm-hmm. And I had this commissioned for
huge amount of money
for Chris.
They've got Humble and Fred's blues. Here come Mark and Chris, they've got Humble and Fred's blues.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Stephen Millman.
You know what's funny about that is I got that string where you were asking it to be a surprise for me.
Aw.
So I didn't listen to it just so I could be surprised today.
Oh, good. Well, there's 3 different versions, Chris. I'm going to send these all to you. There's one with the guitar, there's one without the guitar, and then there's one that just, at the end, he says, go to churchesellers.com.
They don't have a techno version?
Yeah, we should.
The remix, the New York remix.
Anyways, so there you go, Chris. I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. We've got about 7 minutes to get through a lot of vodka. Hello, other nice person. You seem very sweet.
This is Catherine, my wife.
Nice.
This is a family business.
Right on. The best kind.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of vodka for 2 guys to sample it.
It sure is. I mean, normally this is what you see. We do this thing called the vodka experience, which is we're a small company. People might have seen us on Dragons. We're an entrepreneurial company. Slava and Zerkova are our brands. We own them. So we can't afford to compete against these big foreign multinational corporations that own all the vodka. So what we do is we do education. So we turn people into vodka snobs. So instead of going around and showing a bunch of people in a club, what we do is we actually let you taste our vodka. We tell you how it's made, and then you get a chance to see the difference. So the first thing we do is actually we let you taste it straight. I mean, vodka, doing it straight, it's not for everybody, but you get a chance to see the difference. And the first one we do is we do sort of the Russian style of vodka, or the Ukrainian, Polish, Russian style, which is a bit more, a little more of a kick, a little rustic, a little more heat to it,
I was going to say, I know this sounds strange for people love vodka usually in a mixed drink. I actually like the taste of vodka. I'll drink it straight.
Perfect. Actually, that's a growing thing now. More and more people are drinking whiskey and everything else neat. They're getting rid of the mix.
Neat. But tell me, I was introduced to this years ago by a buddy of mine, our buddy Stinky. He drank his cocktails with just a little bit of ice, lemon, and vodka.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice drink, too.
It is. Now, do you recommend that you put ice? Because a lot of people don't want to put ice in scotch because it dilutes the flavors of it.
Well, it really depends. Like one of the fun, like if you look at the Slava bottle, it's triangular shaped and it's fairly short. So we designed the bottle to actually fit in the freezer. You see that? So it's not only is that the reason it's only $32.95 because we didn't go with the fancy frosted super tall.
But I'm going to tell you, frozen vodka is one of my favorite, or cool vodka.
Yeah. That's why. So ice is kind of unnecessary to cool it down. But when you're doing certain drinks, like a Caesar or a tall drink like that, you should put ice in. If you're going to put ice in, put lots in, because what it does is the more ice, the less it actually melts. It seems counterintuitive, but you want to put if you put too little ice in, it just melts and dilutes your drink real fast.
See, I've heard conflicting things where some people say to put it in the freezer and some people say to put it in the fridge.
Yeah, it's a personal preference thing.
Yeah.
The reason why we made Slava triangular is to put it so it fits in the freezer.
It all ends up in the same wonderful place.
It's all delicious and it's all going to get drunk.
What about the viscosity, if I can use that word, when it comes to vodka? How when it's really frozen, it almost has a syrupy
kind of feel to it. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the beauties of coming out of the freezer is the way the whole consistency of it. But really, it's how do you prefer it? But a little bit chilled makes a difference. We're doing this at room temperature because that way you can tell the difference. So the first one is we're going to do the difference between a very big popular Russian brand. We should
explain to people, Freddie. We've got We've got a
Placemat.
A placemat filled with. So this is the vodka straight, and then the vodka in different cocktails.
mixes, yeah.
Okay, so what are we trying first?
Bottom left.
Bottom left is
Number
very
one.
famous Russian brand, Stoli.
Okay.
And have a smell of that first.
Oh, sorry.
And then,
Too late. Sorry, too
oh, there. Hold off.
I went right to the
Right to the
stomach.
drink. Yeah, have a smell. Notice that it has, and then smell our vodka Zerkova. It has a slightly less alcohol smell to it, actually quite a bit less.
the Zerkova
alcohol.
does.
Yeah. And we were going for that on purpose. What we really wanted to do was to have that big, bold, kick in the pants, Eastern European style of vodka without the smell or the burn.
Yeah, when it's Stoli, it has that. So what do we?
Yeah.
What
So
should we
have-
do now? Is it time to
have the-
taste?
Have the Stoli first, and we'll say Nazdrovia.
Nazdrovia. Sante.
And then what?
And then you wait
Wait
for
a
it.
second. Did you just say Narnia?
Narnia.
I wish you had.
Nice Narnia.
No,
Oh, I
I
should
said
say
then
nice
what?
driveway.
I wish you did.
To Narnia and beyond.
Narnia.
If you
Okay.
get that little bit of that burn there,
Yeah.
that's the heavy alcohol. So now Zerkova is going to be much lighter. It's going to be very aromatic. It gets in your head,
Okay. Nice Narnia.
but you notice how much lighter it is and how much less of a burn there is.
But you still know you're drinking vodka.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this is more of a kick in the pants kind of vodka because.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing about Zerkova is that some people just prefer it because they like this style of vodka. About 2 in 10 people will like it better than our other vodka, Slava, straight. But
Okay.
for making mixed drinks, there's nothing can beat it. So now we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum. We're going to try Slava.
Okay.
Slava Ultra Premium, which is our other vodka.
And that's a little bit more expensive.
Yes, it's a bit more expensive, but it's still quadruple distilled and what we call center cut spirit. So none of that light boozy smell and none of the burn. So this stuff's ridiculously smooth.
So this is the Slava, Fred.
Yeah. There we go.
Let's be careful. Let's all be careful now, in case there's fighting.
Like it almost doesn't even taste like vodka at first.
I
It's
like
like
that.
whoa,
And then
That's
it creeps
so
up on.
smooth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll come back later. You'll still get that big flavor. It just takes a while to get there. But you notice it just so soft on your palate. It's really amazing.
Very nice.
And a real difference, certainly from the Stoli.
Yeah.
And a subtle difference from the Zerkova, the less premium. I think it's just at the end.
Yeah,
Whereas the
it's-
Slava's a little smoother on the just at the end of the sip.
Yeah, it really is. But that's also a preference. Like if we'll never sell Slava in Ukraine because because it does be like this vodka is too smooth. Like they want a bit of.
I guess it's what you're
Yeah.
used to. Whether it's beer or wine or spirits, there's an expectation of what the whole experience through your taste is going to be like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And you were
people-
talking about that viscosity a little bit earlier, and you'll probably find that when you get up into the premium end, you've got a little bit more of that viscosity.
It feels a bit more
silky.
viscous. Yeah.
Yes, it's a silkier, smoother.
So now what are we trying? So that was the Stoli, the Zerkova, the Slava, and this last one?
Yeah, the reason we pair Slava up, we're pairing this up against Grey Goose because it has such a good reputation. So if you're going to compare yourself to something that everybody knows is good.
And it's very expensive, Grey Goose.
Yes, it is, which mostly because of the really pretty bottle.
Yeah.
Slava,
Really?
Slava would be the same price if we'd put it in that pretty bottle. You'd be shocked at how much it costs empty. It's like perfume. It costs more than the actual liquid. So we decided, well, that's kind of silly. Let's just put it in a normal bottle,
Right.
And let's make the bottle practical. Like it doesn't fit in your. It fits in your freezer, and it also makes the shape of your hand. It's just great. So now have a sip of the Grey Goose. We'll say this time Asante.
Asante. Boom, boom. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to continue to talk with John Valinga of Slava Ultra Premium and Zerkova Premium Imported Vodka. We'll take a quick break here on Sirius and come back and talk a little bit more about spirits and see what's going on with Churchill Cellars. As well, Todd Shapiro returns to the Humble and Fred show after a while.
If I have any more of this, I'm going to have to get the mayor to drive me home.
I've got a pointer for you there, Freddie.
You and he will go on a box drive. It's Humble and Fred Radio.
Even when you want to. Now the moon lights up your face. I can
Shake that thing, miss. Can I shake that thing, miss? Annabella, shake that thing, yeah. Donna, Jody and Rebecca. Woman, get busy.
All right, we're shaking it up this morning. Everybody okay?
Yeah, we're all good.
We're live on Sirius XM satellite radio. The deep, rich tones of John Valinga is here, along with Chris Churchill, who knows John, has introduced us. And your wife's name is?
Catherine.
Catherine. She's lovely and smart and bright. And Fred's here, and Eileen, and everyone. Todd Shapiro just texted me. He's stuck in traffic. Churchill knows. You got to come here early, man. Part of town where shit goes down. Right on. And we're talking about different vodkas, the two that you created, the Slava Ultra Premium and the Zerkova Premium Imported. And Catherine? Is it Catherine?
Catherine, yeah.
Just sent and gave us some cold vodka.
Yeah, this is kind of actually.
She's a nice person.
This would be kind of fun to do right now. You know what?
What?
But before you drink this one, grab that little chunk of cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Do you remember how beautiful that Slava was? How that long finish?
Yeah.
And how soft it was?
Soft.
Okay, this is going to knock your socks off. So have a bite of the cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Well,
Now
there we
what?
go. And now, right afterwards, chase it with that ice cold Slava.
Seriously.
Wait for that. It's going to turn into like the Slava and the cheesecake become one. You can't tell where one leaves off and the other one starts. It's like cheesecake liqueur.
You left your Slava in my cheesecake. You got your cheesecake in my vodka.
Eileen, come over here. I need to neck with you right now.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's moments like this where you just life is good.
I know. This is like complete accident. We discovered this
Wait
too.
a second.
It was like,
That's the quickest from 0 to you're my best friend I've ever seen.
I like my job.
Life is good.
No, I mean cheesecake and that vodka. That's just such a lovely little treat.
But who would think of it?
And it only works with Slava. We can't do it with Zerkova or any other vodka. So just Slava and cheesecake.
So once again, the difference: Zerkova a little less pricey, $23.45. Although both of them are reasonably priced when you consider the same amount of Grey Goose as the ultra premium vodka, the Slava, is like $16 more.
Yeah, I mean, we the reason why we didn't, we first wanted to put it in that fancy bottle, but we chose not to, just to make sure that our price wouldn't be so high. Mm-hmm. And what we wanted to do was have it like there's nothing else we could have done to Slava to make it any better. Mm-hmm. It's as good as it gets. We like if we spent, there's no way to spend any more money on it. It just isn't. So it's as good as we could make it, and that's that. And I think it's the best.
John's appearance on Dragon's Den, his original pitch won the Viewer's Choice Award, chosen by the national TV audience. Dragon's Den did a follow-up the following season.
Yeah.
And what was the pitch to Dragon's Den, and how did that all play out?
Well, you know what? It was one of those things where we kind of knew that they weren't going to go for it because we were offering too little of the company. But it turns out that on the program, Kevin actually made us an offer, but it never made it in from the editing floor. Mm-hmm. And it was totally reasonable too. It was one of those, and we just couldn't accept it because we'd already sold most of the shares. Mm-hmm. But he was, most of the time I'm yelling at the TV like, no, they're evaluating your company too little. Yeah. But in this case, it was actually pretty fair. So
I have this thing, you and I should go on Dragon's Den and just make the value of our company outrageous. We're looking for $10 million for 0.5% of Humble&Fred. Suck on it, everyone.
We've been drinking vodka.
We're drunk on Caesars.
So you're doing the Amazing Race Canada and the Dragon's Den now. Perfect.
We are doing it. In our last couple of minutes here, we want to tell everyone that there's something called the vodka experience, and I think we've had a little taste of it, no pun intended, about how you learn to appreciate vodka the same way people appreciate different, whether it's a sommelier for wine or spirits.
Yeah, I mean, this is something, we started this about 4 years ago by request. Somebody asked me to do a talk on vodka and martini making. And so we did that. And then somebody from the LCBO discovered it and said, hey, can you do this to train all of our product consultants? And then we did it in Manitoba. And then suddenly we realized there's a way to do this in order to make money for charity. And so what we're doing now is we package up the vodka experience with some catering and that sort of thing, and we sell it at live auctions and at charity events.
Charity golf tournaments, those kind of things. Perfect.
Yeah. And this year we're going to raise about $100,000 for various charities doing the vodka experience. So it's kind of cool. Like, we win because we get a chance to talk about our vodka, but to be able to do that while we raise $100,000 for charity is really cool.
Drink for the children.
Oh, exactly.
Come on.
We are the vodka.
That was my liver.
And maybe our last taste, because I love Caesars and I love vodka Caesars. I'm saying you during the break that.
Do you love vodka martinis too? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Slava's the martini vodka. Mm-hmm. Like Zerkova's your Caesar vodka.
It's the subtler,
it's like you need two. It's not like you can have one, but you have Slava for your martinis, Zerkova for your Caesars. And we do this thing we call the Caesar challenge, and we're not picking on any particular vodka. We just use the biggest premium there is out there as the comparator. But we did this with every kind of vodka, because normally you think, okay, John, I love your vodka straight, but come on, what difference does it make in a mix, right? Well, the cool thing is we actually found a way to make the vodka. Do you ever notice that when you put vodka in juice, the juice kind of becomes sour and a bit boozy tasting, especially orange juice.
By the time I put it in juice, I don't even notice anymore.
Well, you don't because you're not mixing it. But a lot of the time, mixed drinks become a bit soured by the vodka. So what we're going to do is the Caesar challenge. Drink about half of C, the first Caesar, and then this we use Mott's the Works. So it's exactly the same spicing between the two of them. So
and should we tell you what kind of vodka that is?
that one is it's the biggest brand in the world. It's Smirnoff, and we could use. We also often use other types of vodka, but that's fine. So notice what it tastes like. You got some horseradish and that sort of thing.
Sure,
and it tastes great. I think you try that and it goes like that's good. That's a good Caesar. For a simply made 2-ingredient Caesar. Now try the one made with Zerkova.
Okay, here we go.
Now keep in mind this is made exactly with the same thing.
Wow.
Isn't that unbelievable? It's like suddenly you notice your taste buds just snap on. You start salivating more. There's more going on. You notice it seems
Daddy just drank the whole thing.
Now here's the cool part. Go back to the first one. Now.
Okay, well,
There's nothing left of the second
First
one.
one's gone.
your first one is gone. Look at you.
Silly. Follow instructions
We'll get a
as well.
replacement
Here
for you.
comes a replacement one.
There we go.
Son of a bitch, I'm all in here now.
Don't put it down. Put it on the
Definitely
other one.
getting the
Okay, and this is the
All right,
first one.
yeah.
Shots,
If you go back to the
shots.
first one now, it's going to taste. You'll notice that sourness now.
Yes.
Remember? Yeah. So the Zerkova was
It's a
bringing
sour
out
experience.
the flavor.
I'm drinking it all.
There we go. I drank all of mine.
See, one of them is hanging out with the two of you, and the other one's like hanging out with me. One's a little bit sour, and the other one's a little bit nicer.
No, it's also sweet and kind and gorgeous.
Aw, you're drunk.
Can we neck now, please?
Caesars, are they still more or less just a Canadian thing? Or?
Yeah, pretty much that and border towns. Like if you go to Detroit or Buffalo,
I've told Fred this story. I lived in the States for a few years, and I had occasion to come back to Canada every few months. And the first thing I would do was if it was an Air Canada flight, I'd order a Caesar.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. You'd think, and I don't like, for some reason, don't like Bloody Marys. I don't like the tomato juice in vodka. I find it too thick.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like both actually. I like Bloody Marys too. But the cool thing is, we're going to be sending Zerkova down to the States soon. Our first state, believe it or not, is going to be Texas.
Beautiful,
with gigantic bottles. I mean, not surprising. And but we do the Bloody Mary challenge, and it does almost exactly the same thing as that.
Well, I guess it would because it's going to the second the challenger is going to feel sourer.
Yeah,
Isn't it weird though? I look at it like Canadian music. How can something so good not be adopted throughout the United States?
Right.
En masse, you know what I mean?
Right.
A Caesar and Clamato juice.
No, you're right. Because
Canadian music. If you like Canadian music and Americans don't
and if you like tomato juice and vodka, how could you not? Because Clamato juice and vodka is so much better.
Like, what's that all about?
Let's tell everyone to take the vodka experience.
Get your diploma.
Get your diploma.
I'm going to take the Vodka Express.
Yeah, actually, Howard, you go to slavavodka.com.
You should just hang around for the next 20 minutes and see what happens. With
In fact, call the mayor. Get him over here.
Okay, listen. ChurchillCellars.com. That's where you find the Imbibers Report. Chris Churchill, thank you for bringing this wonderful
my pleasure.
vodka man, and his wife,
been a
Mrs.
fan.
Vodka.
He's been a fan for a long, long time.
I want to embrace everyone and tell you should check out
Come on,
these.
give us a hug. You want to embrace
Well, and you guys got to go. You got to go to slavavodka.com and get your diploma.
I'm going to come over there and rest on your shoulder like a baby monkey. The ultra premium vodka is Slava, and Zerkova, the premium imported vodka. They're available, I'm assuming, where?
LCBO, Manitoba Liquor Commission. But if you go to our website slavavodka.com, which is SLAVA vodka.com, or you go to zerkova.com, that's where you can get your diploma.
I have a question. What's going to happen to this innocent little orphan?
Well, we heard
That
you.
we are leaving for you.
We heard you talking yesterday about the fact that when you're at your lawyer's office on Tuesday, they had all this alcohol
Trophy
there.
booze. Did you hear that?
Trophy
Buddy,
booze.
he
So
had
now
some
you
crazy trophy booze.
I know, but well, at least you've got vodka now.
We are leaving this behind.
So I'm gonna adopt this one if it's all the same.
I'm going to get
everyone.
the gold medal from San Francisco back then.
All right.
I brought that as a prop.
John and Catherine, thank you very much for coming in.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks,
And,
guys.
Chris Churchill, you're a good man. Here, let's get your theme playing again. Here. Wait a second. I'm going to send all these
Do the
to
New
you.
York remix this time.
Well, here's the full version with the website.
Here come Mark and Chris, and they've got Humble and Fred's booze. Everybody, here come Mark and Chris, and they've got Humble and Fred's booze. Check them out at ChurchillCellars.com.
Yeah.
The voiceover.
Nice job, Millman. And thanks very much, you guys. Thanks
All
for
right,
coming.
thanks, guys.
Pleasure. Let's clear this out. Let's get the vodka going. Very nice. Todd Shapiro is on his way in.
I'm leaving this behind too, and I've got an extra bottle of Slava.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. That's really nice of you. And I mean, the thing is, do you like vodka martinis as well?
Yes.
You know, one last question before you leave. When you make a vodka martini, how much vermouth will you introduce? Because I like them really, really dry, almost non-existent in the vermouth department.
You know what I do is the way to control that is you go to the dollar store, you buy one of these squirter bottles, you put your vermouth in the squirter bottle, and then instead of pouring the vermouth in the shaker, all you do is you put vodka, like I put Slava in the shaker.
Go right in.
And then what I do is I put in a piece of lemon zest, and I just shake it with only Slava.
Okay.
In the shaker, and then I squirt the vermouth into the glass right before I pour it in.
Perfect.
And you can control exactly how much.
That's also good for intruders.
Yeah.
If they come in, I will fucking vermouth your eyeballs.
It's like, yeah.
Here's what I was taught a long time ago. You take whatever amount of vermouth you want, and in the shaker with the ice, shake it, and then throw the vermouth out, and then just use the sort of whatever residue is on the ice cubes.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. Like what I like about doing it in the glass, like is it's try to you want to get all the aromas and stuff without the sweetness.
Sure.
So what the nice thing about squirting it in the glass is because it's been kind of atomized. What happens is the aromas are all there. It's coated the glass. You'll see bartenders do this sometimes where they put it in, they swirl it around, and they put it in the next glass, and then they dump it out. Well, this way you don't waste any vermouth. I mean,
I think it'd be cool though. I can't wait to go to the dollar store with a bottle of vermouth and find the sprayer and put it in. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you usually have to go, believe it or not, go to the hair care section. Where
That's really funny.
Like, and it's also, if your dog gets out of hand, you can always...
That's a really good tip. Hey, thanks for coming in. Will you come and see us again?
Hey, yeah, that's great. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot.
We got to hook these people up. They got to be part of the Humble and Fred family.
I love vodka people.
Here comes Mark and Chris, and they've got...
All right. We're going to help Phil, help these nice people out. And
that was great. Really enjoyed that, fellas. Thank you.
Very nice. We're going to get Eileen back in the anchor chair here in a second. Nice meeting you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
You seem very lovely. Here comes...
Oh, really? 25 years? Oh, that's sweet.
John mentioned that he was, when I was first working with you, we did that Buried Alive promotion. John came and saw us at the Woodbine
really?
Center while you were broadcasting outside the coffin, and I was suffering.
I was listening to the radio, and I was like, I was driving by I was like, I gotta go check this out. So I went there, and it was for a chick. I remember it was.
And it was actually for something called Teens Against Crack and Cocaine, which Rob Ford was part of, but he
was a teen at the time.
Yeah, he was a teen at the time, but it didn't take.
He was on the opposite.
He was on the
It's
opposite.
funny.
He
I
was
don't know
actually
if this
for
is,
crack and cocaine.
I don't know if this is good or bad for you, but it seems his drink of choice is vodka.
I know. Actually, I didn't know either. Like when they showed the bottle of iceberg in the forest.
Yeah, we should probably get back on the mic because we're still broadcasting.
No,
to the world.
I know.
Go ahead.
Yeah. When they
John doesn't want to go. I don't want him to go.
No, I know. John's a good guy.
When you hear about the bottle of iceberg, I was like, I don't know whether or not I would like for that to been a bottle of Zirkova or not.
Right.
But you know what? It's kind of one of those things where all PR is good PR, right?
Absolutely.
No, and people would go, I saw that bottle somewhere. I'm not, after a while, they would go, I saw that bottle somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Yeah,
But it would be part, in their brain.
Yeah.
Send them a case.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there are some well-known people that really that are fanatics. Like one of the things we find with our brands is people are fanatics about them. Like you will pry that out of their cold dead hand. And the way we know that is because we have two of them. Sometimes we're doing a tasting for the other one in a liquor store, and you always see this. Is people are pretty open. They want to try different things all the time. But you see somebody with a bottle of Zirkova in their hand, and you're trying to get them to try Slava, and they just walk right past you. They're like, nope, this is my vodka, and they don't realize it's the same company. But but I'm kind of like, that's good. I like that. It warms my heart.
Listen, man, thanks for coming in, Chris.
Beautiful
We'll see you in a
stuff.
couple weeks. You will. All the best to you.
New studio?
Yeah. Well, I guess by the time, and there'll be one more appearance in this studio. And then
I
we'll
don't
move
see
on.
a lot of work going on over there.
So you guys gonna go get your diplomas now?
I'll tell you what. I feel like we're on our way.
It'll be his first ever.
SlavaVodka.com, and you can't.
I like it. Daddy, did you graduate
Yes, I got-
grade 12? No, but I have a vodka diploma.
Again, like the
that's
lawyers, you can
impressive.
hang that up on the wall.
That's fun.
And it's impossible to
funny.
fail. Like we have
I got nothing.
5 questions, only 3 of them you have to get right. So you have to get 3 out of 5 right.
Right.
And if you don't get 3 out of 5 right,
Right.
the test will come back to you with the
Hey.
ones you got wrong highlighted in red and give you multiple opportunities to read.
Wait a second. 3
until you
out
get
of
them
5.
right.
That's nearly 50%. That's why I didn't get my grade 12. Okay, listen, we got to get to Eileen's news. Thanks very much.
All right,
Talk to you
thanks, guys.
soon.